Hello, this is Vampire here to share real quick with you just some of my feelings of what I've been going through as far as studying Professor Bram Frank's material. He was nice enough to share with me a link that has a whole bunch of his instructional videos. So I've been binge watching that stuff because it's just been really fun. I mean, there's plenty of other martial arts videos for me to watch and study that I'm interested in, but at the end of the day, I am totally biased, and the Filipino martial arts, and especially the Arnis side, is extremely fascinating for me because it's something that I've studied for a long time. And no, I don't feel like, I've been doing it forever, it's time to do something else. I don't feel that way. It just gets deeper and deeper, and it's just so fun. Anyway, watching his videos, one of the things that I could tell you about is I've been blown away by a lot of the things that he's been talking about. But one of the things I'd like to share with you guys is, of course, Filipino martial arts is known for two things, right? Which is primarily the sticks, single and double stick, and then of course bladed weapons, right? Especially the knife, and then we have something like what is called the bolo, which is kind of like their version of the machete. And anyway, so you have your sticks and your bladed weapon, and what I've been seeing in his videos is he's been talking about how different they are, the techniques, the strategies, so how you use the stick and how you use the blade is very, very different, and he shows it, right? And look, to me, the way that I see this, and to me this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. And the way that I make sense out of this, all right, is that when you learn Filipino martial arts, whether it's Kali, Eskrima, Arnis, when you learn it, the first thing they pretty much teach you is that this is interchangeable. Okay, that's the way that I learned it. I've learned it in various styles of Kali, Eskrima, Arnis, and yeah, it's interchangeable, not just with each other, but also with empty hand, improvised weapons, just pretty much whatever you can find. And honestly, it pretty much comes down to single-handed weapons. It's going to be interchangeable. The stick is generic, and that was its purpose. So then when you go to different, stuff, but, the transition works, and that makes perfect sense to me. That's the way it was taught to me. I really like that. I like that versatility. And if you watch Jeff Speakman's, I know he comes from an American Kempo karate background, but a lot of those guys cross-train in Filipino martial arts. They do double sticks and stuff. And there was a movie called Street Knights, and in it he grabs a wrench, and was it a hammer, or maybe it's two wrenches, and he, goes to town on the bad guy. So I was like, there you go. Those are stick movements, double stick movements. He's using an improvised weapon. That's exactly what they taught me. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's what I really, really like about Filipino martial arts, is that kind of versatility. Because, I'm not going to be walking around with two sticks right here, like carrying it like a ninja like this. No, I have no intention of that. So for a self-defense situation, it's more about grabbing whatever I can and using my stick skills, essentially, right? So that's the way it was taught to me. It makes sense to me. But in Professor Bram Frank's case, the way that he's teaching it is more old school, in a sense that the stick this is the training tool version of the single-handed sword, or what they call the bolo. This is a representation of the bolo. Okay, now the stick became so predominant that it became its own thing. And there's plenty of excellent stick fighters and people who specialize with the sticks. And they became so good at it, kind of forgot the blade roots. And that's where Professor Bram Frank, the knife guy, he comes in and he talks about the HEMA roots of Filipino martial arts and the fencing and the European, combat arts. He really goes into that, and it's awesome to see. And that's where he's able to tell you that the stick and the blade is different. And you might think, well, that's just him. Well, no, because he's telling you the stories that he had with people like his teacher, Professor Remy Presas, and it's awesome to hear, that, oh, these are the kinds of things that they were juggling and that was going through their minds in their training. And it's fascinating. It is, that they were constantly thinking about, okay, in combat, against the guy who has a blade, how do I go up against this guy? How do I use this? If I faced against a guy who has a machete and I have a machete, how do I, so that they're going into that kind of stuff. It is fascinating. That to me is martial arts, and I really enjoy that. Now, so what I'm saying is I'm finding it interesting, but it's, if you think about it, it's a contradiction from what I was taught to me. The way that I see it, and like I said, it makes perfect sense for me, is that when you first start in martial arts cross-training, so when you cross-train, essentially going from stick to knife to short sword or whatever, those are all, in a way, that's cross-training. Even though it's the same style, you're cross-training into different weapons, right? So when you cross-train, let's say you're a wrestler and you're going to cross-train into boxing, it can be very discouraging. It's totally different. You're going to be like, oh my gosh. If you focus on the differences, it's a great way to quit. It's a great way to get discouraged. It's a great way to go, you know what, I don't like them. You create this gap. You create this, separation. So when you start off in cross-training, you should look for similarities. Find reasons that you are the same. Find reasons to understand them. Oh, we do the same thing. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. Find that, as best as you can. Even if it's something that seems totally different, like wrestling and boxing, you go, you know what? They work hard. They do calisthenics. Okay, we do that too. Okay. So, and then you got to spar. Okay, that makes sense. So go with stuff like that. So go look for similarities. That's going to encourage you. So that is number one. And then this could probably be used in life, not just martial arts. Use this in life. You're in a new jobs environment. You're in a new situation and you got to get along with people. You got to figure things out, whatever, start by looking for similarities. Okay. And then as you get more advanced, as you get better, as you get more skilled, then you could start using differences to your advantage. So Professor Bram Frank, who has been doing this stuff for way longer than I have, so this guy is way, way, way more advanced than I'll ever be. Okay, so from his point of view, he's at the level where he's using differences. So at my level, sticks, knives, hey man, it's all the same, it's all interchangeable, that's awesome. Okay, at his level, they're totally different. So he's using them differently and making it work. But remember, before he did that, he probably came from there, you're using it the same way. So, start with similarities and then go into, I actually like the differences. I'm able to use the differences to my advantage. But that, like I said, is more advanced. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Once again, you use that for any martial arts style and not just martial arts. Use it for life as well. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing and take care, folks.